guys, so the other day I put a poll up on my community tab for you to help me choose what design I was going to do on my nails when I did them again. And when I looked at it, there were two of the options were tied, and I was like, great, now I have to choose between these two, and I didn't know which one to choose because I really wanted, like, all three of the options I was really wanting to do. Which is why I put the poll up, because I couldn't decide, and then those two were tied. So I then decided, since I'm going to not have like my extra long nails on for some days while I film a couple other videos, I figured I could do one of the designs on like my natural nails, and then the other design on my extra long nails that I usually do. So that's what I'm doing here. And the design that I'm doing on these nails is the Cateye chrome look. If I remember, I will insert a picture of the one that I'm talking about. I figured that would be really cute on like some short nails and would look a little better than the jelly glitter one. So to start off, I did apply some dehydrator and primer to the nails, just because what I have on my nails right now is a hard gel layer, a layer of hard gel to protect my nails. I did just do a whole video on like why I do that and how I do all that. So this is a protective hard gel layer that I did do the day before I did this set, and I had washed my hands to make sure that, you know, they were all clean and everything, and then I wanted to apply the dehydrator to make sure that there wasn't any like oils or anything on the nails, and then I did the primer just to make sure that all the gel that I stick on top of them is going to stick, although it should stick because gel does stick to gel. But just to be safe and make sure that nothing peels off when it shouldn't, I do like to put a primer down before painting the nails, just to be extra safe on that. And then once that all that dried, I took Here Lies Mire from Nails by Dev, which is this really pretty like silver cat eye that has like silver glitters in it, but then it also has like some hollow glitters in it. It's really pretty. I took that and I painted each nail and did the magnet. Well, I painted one nail, did the magnet, cured that, like flash cured that way. The way that I had moved the magnet pieces didn't shift back to their original state. Moved on to the next nail, painted it, did the magnet, and then flash cured that, like one usually does whenever they're doing a cat eye design, you know. And I did end up only doing one coat of this. I was originally going to do 2 coats of this, but then once I saw how it looked with just one coat, I really liked how it looked, and I think it helped having it on like my nail bed, the nail bed, and just the nail bed. It wasn't on an extension or anything that was clear. I think if it was on something that was clear, I would have had to do a second coat, but like I said, because it was just on my nail bed there, which has, you know, the fleshy skin tone color underneath, it really helped make it look really nice with only one coat. I also thought about doing like a black base underneath, but then I was kind of trying to make sure I wasn't doing a whole lot of layers on this set, because like I said, I am doing it on, I guess not technically my natural nails, since there is that layer of hard gel, but my natural nails. And I didn't want it to get super thick, because the shorter the nails are and the more layers you do, the more chunky and bulky they look. So I was trying to keep very minimal layers on this, and like I said, I felt like it looked good with just the one coat of it and not having to put the black underneath of it. Although putting a layer of black down underneath of this Cateye polish does really make it like pop, and it looks really cool that way as well. So if you are recreating this set, it kind of just depends, you know, if you're going to do 2 coats of it or if you're going to add like a base color underneath of it. You know, what your preference is on how you want your nails to look. For me personally, I was really liking how this one coat looked without the black underneath, so I was just leaving it like this. And then after I got all of the nails painted and magnetized, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And as you can see, I'm not really doing any kind of specific design with the Cateye. I am just kind of bringing those magnet pieces up to the surface and moving them around until I like how the nail looks and how the movement of the Cateye shifting looks. So I just kind of sat there and played around with it until I was happy with it, and then went ahead and cured it. And I did do this same process on my right hand as well, which I did actually film as well, because I felt like this video wasn't going to be very long with just one hand. And I mean, the nails that I'm doing are super short, so it really didn't take me that long to do this whole design anyhow, so I figured might as well show you doing both hands. I don't usually show me doing both hands unless I'm doing like, you know, 10 different designs on each finger or whatever. Or if there's like, I'm doing similar designs on both hands, but there's a couple different nails on the right hand, then I'll show the right hand as well. But anyhow, like I said, this video wasn't super long, and I was like, why not, you know? Also, when it comes to doing Cateye, I've noticed, and I don't quite understand why people do this. They will take the magnet and like swing it back and forth really fast next to the nail, and I'm like, why are we doing it so fast? Like, the first time they swipe it across, like, the particles have already moved over, and they just keep moving it back and forth a lot really fast. And it just doesn't make sense to me, because I don't know, like, I don't get why we're moving the magnet super fast and why we're moving it back and forth across the nail so much. Although I will say, when it comes to like short form videos, like, you know, TikToks or Reels or Shorts here on YouTube, it could potentially just be that the video is super sped up, so it looks like they're moving the magnet super fast like that. But I have also noticed, even when they don't speed up the videos, or like even just here on YouTube watching other people do Cateye designs, they are swinging the magnet super fast back and forth, and I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me personally. Like, I don't understand why we're moving it back and forth so fast, especially after all the pieces already moved away from, like, it's usually when they're trying to magnetize the whole nail to bring up all the pieces before they go in with a design, or like if they're doing something like what I'm doing here, they'll move the magnet back and forth really fast. I'm like, why? Like, what is the reason for moving it back and forth that fast and that many times? Because you can see here when I do Cateye, and anytime you've ever seen me do Cateye, like, I go slow and I take my time with it, and I use the magnet to really like move around the pieces and stuff. I feel like if you're moving it super fast, you don't really have control of those pieces, whereas if you're moving, you know, slower and at a more controlled pace, you can manipulate those pieces a little easier and like move them around exactly how you want them to move. Whereas I feel like when you're just swinging the magnet around like that, it kind of just goes wherever and just does whatever. But also, like, once once those pieces get pushed away from your magnet, if you're in the same spot, they're already pushed away from it, so that's not doing anything when you go over that same spot over and over again. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know. I personally just don't understand it, and I don't like it. I guess when people are doing that, I don't know. Maybe there's some rhyme or reason as to why people do that, but I just feel like it doesn't make sense to me, you know? Like, it makes more sense to move not like super fast, but also not like super slow either. Like, move at a normal, like your normal speed, and like actually take the time to maneuver those pieces and push them exactly to how you want them and where you want them, you know? I don't know if any of that made any sense. I kind of just went on a ramble there because that's something that I see that I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why we're swinging it back and forth so many times so fast when the pieces are already moved to the other side of the nail and they're not moving anymore. I can get the moving fast part of it though, because if you, not like moving that fast though, but like moving faster than how you usually would, because if you leave the Cateye polish sit wet and you don't cure it, the magnet pieces will eventually move back to their original state, but also it doesn't really happen that quickly either. Like, you do have a little bit of time to work with it and then like get it into the lamp. Like, you don't have to move super speedy fast or anything like that. So I don't know if someone else could explain to me why the super fast movement with the bar, and it's always with the cylinder magnet here when they're on the sides, I notice, or like at the free edge or whatever, and they're moving it super fast, swinging it back and forth. Like, if someone could explain that to me, that'd be great, because like I said, I just don't get it. When you can get the same effect just moving like this. Like, I'm not going super fast or anything, and I'm getting it exactly how I want it. I don't know. Anyhow, after I got all the Cateye part done, I am going to take my Varnail 2-in-1 chrome top coat, and this chrome here, I think it came from Temu. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's one of the chromes my mom got me one year for Christmas or something. But it's just one of the like clear chromes that has like a color shift to it. This one has a purple shift to it because I thought the purple would look really good with the silver. So like, you can just look up like Aurora chromes or like aura chromes or like mermaid chromes or something like that, and you'll be able to find like these type of chromes where they're like, they look white but then they have like that shift of color, and then when you put them on, they're clear with that shift of color. On like, Temu, AliExpress, Amazon, I don't know, probably even Shein, since they sell nail supplies too. But yeah, so I applied the Varnail top coat on the nail, cured that for 30 seconds because that is the instructions on that 2-in-1 top coat. It's 30 seconds if you're using it for chrome, 60 seconds if you're using it as a top coat. So I did go ahead, cure it for 30 seconds, and then rub the chrome on. That is what it looked like, and The problem I have with these like clear chromes is that they tend to leave like a yellow tint on the nail. Um, blue, the blue chromes are especially bad for that. Um, but I noticed with this purple one as well that it was kind of leaving a yellow tint. It is worse on lighter colors, so if you did like pastel colors, or especially if you do white, like you're gonna have a yellow tint on the nail. Even with this silver Cateye here, there was a little bit of a yellow tint. It really wasn't too bad, and it didn't bother me too much, so I just kept on with it and was fine with it. But if it does bother you, I would keep that in mind, that with these clear chromes like this, they do tend to leave a bit of a yellow tint on the nail, so you probably don't really want to use them with super light colors, like I said, like white or super light pastels like that. You do kind of want to stick to more darker colors, just so you can't see that yellow tint. But you know, it really wasn't that bad, especially for this Cateye. And when I apply the top coat, it really kind of dilutes that yellow tint, but it doesn't get rid of it completely. Like, you can still kind of see it in the end. And then usually when I do chrome, I usually do one finger at a time, or one nail at a time, because it just works better for me that way for some reason. Like, if I were to do all of them, by the time I get to like the third or fourth nail, the chrome doesn't want to stick very well anymore, so I just will do one at a time. But I figured, since these nails are short, I could probably get away with doing like 2 nails at a time, so I started doing that. Well, I did the pinky nail, and then I did the ring in the middle, and then I did the pointer, and then I did the thumb. But on my other hand, I did 2 at a time, and then I did the thumb separate. I always do the thumb separate whenever I'm painting my nails, just so that way I can put it in facing upwards instead of on the side. That way it gets like an even cure, and it doesn't cure weird, because you know, sometimes the thumbs can cure kind of weird because they're laying sideways instead of laying flat and like facing upwards like the rest of your nails. But anyhow, got those done, rubbed on all the chrome, and then I went back through to rub it in some more, make sure I dusted off and got off any of all of that excess chrome. And this is the difference between with the chrome and without the chrome. You can see that yellow tint here a lot on like between these two hands. So like I said, keep that in mind if you are using these clear chromes. And then after I got the chrome on all of the nails, because I did only partially cure this top coat, I did stick my hand back in the lamps to fully cure that top coat for 60 seconds, because as we all know, acrylate allergies are really big right now, and there's a lot of people getting them because they are not using products properly, they're not curing their products properly. So we want to make sure that we are, you know, not getting gel products all over our skin, not touching those non-stick 3D gel type of products with our bare hands. And we want to make sure we are fully curing all of the gel on the nails. That way we're not developing those acrylate allergies from the continuous exposure to uncured gel of any sort. So if you are doing chrome, if you are only partially curing the chrome to get the chrome to stick, you do have to stick your hand back in the lamp to cure for the full 60 seconds to make sure that the gel underneath is fully cured. Even if you are using like the solid colored chromes, they are still clear. The light's going to penetrate through it, and it is going to cure what's underneath of it. So just remember, if you do partially cure the gel to get the chrome to stick, once you get all the chrome on, stick it back into the lamp to cure for the full 60 seconds, because we don't want to get any acrylate allergies. And now, after everything is done, I'm going in with my shiny top coat from LGN and top coating all of the nails with this. Once I get it on, I do cure it for 60 seconds. Now watching this video back, I don't know why I went in with this top coat, because, you know, chrome is very notorious for getting its little particles stuck into the bristles of the brushes, and then you end up contaminating your top coat. So that's why everyone always says make sure you have a separate top coat for your chromes. That way, if it does get contaminated, you're not messing up your other sets that that don't require like a glittery type of top coat. But I clearly wasn't thinking when I was doing this. Usually I'll take my Gen B Crazy Top whenever I do chrome and top with that, just because it's in a pot and I'm using a separate brush that I can clean off super easy. But I will say I didn't have an issue with any little tiny chrome particles getting in the brush here and contaminating the my top coat here. So I think I did a really good job of making sure that the chrome was really rubbed into the nail and there wasn't a whole bunch of, you know, excess chrome still just sitting on top of the nail or whatever. Also, if you are doing chrome on like the entire nail, you do want to make sure you're capping the free edge just to seal that in. I personally have never had an issue with chrome chipping or peeling off whenever I do full chrome nails, but I do know there are some people who have had issues with that happening. So you can like buff the edges of the nails, like the free edge, and if you have any of like the side walls, you know, if you're doing extensions and you have the side walls hanging off the nail, you can buff that to kind of remove the chrome from there, and then apply your top coat all the way to those edges and seal it all in, and then you won't have the chrome chip off. But I don't do any of the buffing, I just seal it all in with the top coat, make sure I seal the free edge and the sides if, like I said, if I have any kind of extensions on the nails. And I've never had an issue with that, but if you do have an issue, like I said, you can buff first and then apply the top coat, or you can just try applying the top coat, you know, whatever works for you. You got to figure that out yourself. And then that was it for this set. It was super quick, super easy, very beginner friendly, because you're just it's pretty straightforward. You're just painting the nail with your base color and then going in and applying your chrome, and that is it for this design. Obviously you can add whatever you wanted on top of it if you wanted to. So like if you wanted to do some like 3D stuff, or you wanted to do some other nail art, or like add stickers or charms or whatever, you could do that. But I thought they were cute like this, and I just left it like this, and that was how it was in the picture that I put up for the poll. And this is the finished result. They're super fun. They're super cute. They're kind of futuristic-y. They give very like futuristic vibes because of like the silver and then the like purple shift of the chrome. I don't know, they're super fun. I think like this would be a really cool background for like a futuristic type of set, like to do like those 3D chrome blobs, or to like have a robot or something painted on top of it like that, you know. But like I said, they are also super cute just here on their own. And I will say I am really happy that I chose to do this set on the short nails, because now that they're on, I personally feel like I would have ended up hating them if I did them on my super long, extra long nails. Here they are under flash in my filming room. Like I turned the filming lights off and I just turned the flash on, so that's what that looks like here. You can't really see the purple chrome very much, but you can really see the Cateye a lot. It really pops through, and then you can kind of see like the hollow glitters a little bit. Also here you can kind of see that the top coat kind of diluted that yellow tint a little bit, so it doesn't look as yellow as it did earlier before I top coated it. It does look more silvery, but like I said, you still can kind of see that it isn't like how this Cateye originally looked before putting on the chrome. It still does have a little bit of a tint there, but it's not like super bad or anything. It doesn't bother me at all. But anyhow, like I was saying, I'm really glad that, oh, and then this was just in my room with all of the lights off and the dark with the flash. Also the exposure is down like all the way, which is, they look really cool like this. I think they looked a lot cooler outside in the sunlight than under any flash. But anyhow, let me finish what I was saying. I personally think they look way better on short nails than they would look if I were to have done them on my extra long nails, just because they're kind of plain. I mean, they're not like plain, you know, it's not like I just did one solid opaque color, you know, but when you look at all the other stuff that I do on my nails and how I usually do my nails, they are plain. Like, it's just Cateye and chrome. And typically I do a lot of stuff when on my nails, like a lot of nail art, charms, whatever. So I feel like I would have ended up not liking them as much if I were to have done them on my extra long nails, just because they are kind of plain. There's not a lot going on. They are super fun, and like moving them around and seeing the shift of the chrome and the Cateye and everything is really cool and really fun. But yeah, I just think I wouldn't have liked them. Like, I would have loved them at first and been like, oh my gosh, they're so cute, I love them. But then after a couple of days, I definitely would have ended up getting bored of them, because like there's just not much going on. And me personally, I like a lot going on for my nails. I know not everybody is into that, but I am, and that's how I like my nails done. And yeah, so I am super glad that I decided to do this design on the short nails, and I'm going to do the other design on my extra long nails. And here they are out in the sunlight. I think they look the best like this, because you can really see the cat eye, and then you can really see the purple shift of the chrome, and I just think they look so cool. Like this, it was a really cool combination here that I chose. And obviously there's so many different combinations you can do with all the different colored cat eyes and all the different colored chromes and stuff. So really the possibilities are endless when it comes to a set like this. And it's going to look good pretty much no matter what you do, at least in my opinion. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.